I have a super bad cold, so you're gonna see this pink nose that's going on here. Anyway, which is Stephanie. I wanted to capture this moment on tape. I have been pretty sick with this freaking cold and some other things. There's been a lot of things happening that have disrupted my learning, most of which is mental, not physical. But I just had an in-person reading lesson with my new tutor, which is awesome. I'm not giving up on italki. I have different things I want to do, and I'm going to continue to do italki when I can and when I have my voice. And then I'll do my in-person stuff when I am in Shanghai. Hopefully at least once a week-ish. So I'm really excited because my new tutor, who will remain anonymous, and I do not want to tape our sessions, that is not the point, but she is excited about teaching me from context. Again, my main goal is to learn to read newspapers in Chinese, and that is one of the reasons she agreed to take me on as a student, even though she's not teaching much anymore. And we just spent an hour looking at maybe a paragraph and a half and going through different words, and I was adding different words that into my Pleco so I could review them later, and we were going through the vocabulary and what was there, and I was recognizing some characters and not recognizing others, and more importantly, I was getting some words. It's really windy today, I hope you can hear me. Anyway, I was getting words, which is what I need. I was getting words in context. I was getting vocabulary in context, and I think this is why my studying has slowed down so much recently, is because I hit a wall in a few different ways, and one of which is that I needed more context. I needed more cohesion from the sentences. The reading book I have, I'm still going to keep chipping away at that, but I realized last night, I think I misunderstood the book in some way. I thought that each sentence built on itself, so that by the end I would read the sentences together and they would equate to an article. But it's not. I actually sat down when I was making note cards last night and I read the full, the different sentences, and they did not go together to create an article. What I think is going to happen, and I have to look at the whole, I didn't have the whole book with me, I just had the translations. So what I think is happening is that the words that you learn as you read those 25 individual disconnected sentences, and do you see that? Oh, I'm already doing with my face. When you learn those words, then you can read the article at the end of the book, but I need to double check with the book. I do not have it with me. And I haven't had a chance to check since last night. So that made me really, really want to read bigger articles, bigger texts. Sorry, this turtleneck is like overtaking my face. I didn't realize that when I bought it. Anyway, so that really, really prompted me to want to also touch real newspapers. In addition to using this book with the characters, because it does have an audio, it does have really clear definitions, and it builds on itself. So I don't want to abandon it. I'm not doing that. I want to do something in addition to it. And with the in-person newspaper context that I just got, I feel this surge of motivation that I haven't felt for a while. So I'm super duper excited that this just happened. And it's funny because the LanguageCon conference that I went to in September is the motivation for all of this, and how I met the person, the tutor, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, it's taken a while to organize things because of my work schedule and my brain power and just where I was with learning the language. So I'm super, super excited that this has happened. I knew if I pushed long enough and just kept doing something some of the time, that my motivation would come back, or at least I was hoping, and I think it's back. We'll only be able to tell if I stick with it and keep going, but I think this is the thing that I needed. Ironically, it's been very hard to find physical newspapers because everything's been moved online. I have a newspaper stand, or a newspaper and magazine stand, across from me in my neighborhood, right across from my apartment building, and they've been closed for the past few days when I meant to go and grab, because I wanted to have recent news during the session, and I guess I waited too late because they've been closed for the past few days, and I couldn't actually grab a physical newspaper. I want to, you know me, I'm very physical and I'm very visual, and I wanted to be able to like highlight, circle, underline, do a bunch of colored stuff on the physical newspaper, and I failed at that this time, so we used an online newspaper, which wasn't quite the same. So I'm going to go buy a newspaper the next time I see it before the session. I don't care if the news is old, but I want to have that physicality to it, because I think that is going to be really, really useful to me and my brain. And now I'm losing my voice, so I have to go before it completely cops out on me. It's just the end of a cold. It's no real big deal. It just, I don't have a lot of a lot in me right now. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me while I went through this really, really dry period with learning to read in Chinese. I can see a ton of videos coming soon, because the more I study, the more I want to tell you about what I've done and what I've learned, and all of the kind of aha moments that I have, which is going to be a lot. It's just so going to be a lot. Okay, I'm so excited and I'm relieved that I pushed through. That was a really uncomfortable, I'm failing at keeping going kind of moment that lasted weeks, if not, what was it, a month of just blah, barely moving forward. And I feel like now it's going to be like a rocket ship. Oh, I hear Elton John happening somewhere. I can't think of the phrase. No, I can't think of the song, but I feel like Elton John just entered my head in a musical, linguistic motivation kind of way. Rocket Man, there we go. Only I'm not a man. Rocket Woman. Anyway, not the point. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope to have more interesting, motivated, inspired Hansa character motivation coming and visuals coming up soon. And hopefully, if the pollution goes down, some walkabout videos. I haven't done those in ages. Anyway, Satyan!